live from the 801, bringing you the best pro wrestling on the planet. The only show you need to listen to. Opinions you won't hear anywhere else. Where we talk all day until the wheels fall. Or just until we hit our time goal. From the WWE to AEW to New Japan, back down to AAA in Mexico, along with every other promotion in between. This is First Pin. And now, here's your host, Kevin Danger.
Welcome to the First Pin Podcast. I'm your humble and gracious host, Kevin Solorsino. I want to thank you guys for joining me on another episode of the First Pin Podcast. And man, what a crazy week we did have. Everything that's been going on with Wrestlemania 36, from all the shows. Honestly, it was a good week of shows this week. From the WWE to AEW, they put on really good shows. There's just so much to talk about. It's gonna be a really jam-packed episode. I want to thank you guys for clicking on the video, hitting that like button, comment down, let me know what you think, and of course, most definitely hit that subscribe button, please. The whole point of this is to grow this channel, and the only way we're gonna grow this channel is by hitting that subscribe button. Before we jump into it, I want to take a quick minute to hit that round of applause for Mr. Roman Reigns. If you guys heard yesterday or possibly from Thursday night, the whole thing that was going around that came out from Ryan Satin from Pro Wrestling Sheet was saying that Roman Reigns pulled out of WrestleMania due to health concerns. Now it's going around that The Miz was sick during these tapings, which sucks. I don't know why he would even show up if he was sick. So since he was sick, kind of made Roman Reigns not really want to be there anymore, because we all know that he recovered from leukemia once again. And I don't know if you guys heard me last time. I said, the doctors were really concerned because he recovered from leukemia, so he already has a weak immune system. So he decided to pull out from the show. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to really do. There's a lot of rumors going around. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to put that as a spoiler on here, even though it's just talking about who would replace him, because we didn't really see that last night on Friday Night SmackDown. They ran it like a normal SmackDown. Yes, I get it. SmackDown has been pre-taped, but you gotta, if you're gonna make this storyline, I mean, it just doesn't make sense that WWE hasn't addressed what happened. They haven't commented on it, but it's been all over Bleacher Report Wrestling. It's been all over ESPN. It's just been all over everybody. Everybody's talking about it, and the thing is, a lot of people are upset. Those Roman Reigns fans like me are upset, but I totally understand that he wanted to put his health first before anything. So that's awesome. So that's why I said, that's why I hit that round of applause and shout out to him for doing the right thing. But then there's those people that are like, oh yeah, good, I don't want to see him in the main event and this and that. Like, dude, you gotta understand, he did it for health reasons. He put his health before the company, which is pretty big, because he's the first one to pull out. There's been a lot of people that I'll mention on here, but there's people that just are not going to be part of WrestleMania 36 due to the quarantine, due to them being in quarantine. Nothing has been confirmed on on wrestlers from the WWE coming down with this illness, but from so many people getting quarantined, it's going to be a really weird WrestleMania 36, honestly. I think it's the world poking at Vince McMahon, telling him, dude, you should just postpone this. And yes, he really should just postpone this. I don't get why he hasn't yet. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, I guess, that he has, but whatever, man. All right, yeah, so just wanted to start off with that. So let's just jump into it now. Let's jump into the weekly results. Off the bat, I'm gonna let you guys know this is a whole different way that I'm going through this. Um, we're gonna go through the results, then we'll go through wrestling news. We'll go through all the wrestling news and rumors, and some talking points, some interesting things that I found during the week. But yeah, I think the way that that these results I'm gonna go off of are gonna be completely different than I usually do. I know I usually just read the matches and then we do promos after, but like I said, I'm trying to polish it up as much as I can. So this time I'm doing it a bit differently. So let's start off with
Monday Night Raw.
all right, so in Monday Night Raw, it started off with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came out to the ring, and Heyman cut a promo on basically the match between Lesnar and Drew. He was saying that Drew will be a main eventer in the future, but that right now Brock is the guy. He was saying that at WrestleMania 36 that Brock's going to make it quick but not painless at WrestleMania. I thought this was a really good promo. Um, Another good way to build up the match. I think it would have been cool to see these guys brawl one more time. Maybe, like I said, with Brock Lesnar getting the upper hand, so it kind of looks like an even playing field. But it is going to be interesting how this match is going to go at WrestleMania. There's a lot of speculations going around that match. After that, we had AJ Styles came out and challenged The Undertaker to a boneyard match. That's right, a boneyard match. I'm honestly guessing it's a PG version of a buried alive match, maybe mixed with the casket match at a graveyard, like in an actual graveyard, or unless they fight in a Mortal Kombat arena from Scorpion where they're just bones lying everywhere. I don't know if you guys ever played Mortal Kombat, but I remember there was I think it was like Scorpion's special arena or whatever. There's just bones everywhere, unless that's what AJ was talking about. But honestly, that's what I think this boneyard match is. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be wonky, and there it's all pre-taped, so I'm up for it. Honestly, if it's gonna distract us from everything that's going on, and it's gonna be something we can just laugh at, and that's pretty awesome. And then after that, we had Andrade and Angel Garza defeated Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. That was a really good match. In the end, it did look like Cedric Alexander really got knocked out. Andrade hit him with was it like a spinning forearm, spinning back elbow or whatever. It kind of looks like the Judas effect, but I mean it's different in a way also. Um, Yeah, I mean, it'll be cool to see Ricochet and Cedric Alexander in a proper tag team, but I mean, they just lost to Andrade and Angel Garza, so I don't know, man. I guess we'll see what else happens with them. After that, we had the Street Profits defeat Shane Thor and Brendan Vink. That was a pretty quick match, which was just a way to show dominance from the Street Profits. And at WrestleMania 36, we are supposed to get Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Champions. Why? I'll let you guys know once we get there. After that, we had Shayna Baszler was being interviewed in the middle of the ring by Charlie Caruso. Caruso was telling why she was telling Shayna why you so destructive. You came into to the elimination chamber and you eliminated everybody. That's never been done before. Even on the men's side, that's just never been done before. But Shayna then tells her, "Why don't you tell me? Why don't you ask me the questions that you want to ask me?" Like, why is she, I don't know if it's 100% on the line, but basically she was telling her, ask me the questions on why I'm going after Becky Lynch. Why do I want the women's championship so much? And she tells her that because she knows if she takes that belt from Becky Lynch, it is going to destroy Becky Lynch, and that's what she wants, is to destroy her. After that, out of nowhere, Becky Lynch comes out and hits her, boom, with a big old chair shot. Honestly, that thing sounded like a gunshot. You're just like watching this, and then you hear bang, like a big old. Okay, I know that wasn't a shot, but just hits her in the back, and then when she's on the floor, she picks up the chair once again, and boom, whacks her one more time, and that was basically it. Um, I thought it was okay. It was like I said, they're doing a lot. I feel like Becky's getting more over than Shayna, though Becky's been cutting promos on Shayna. So I don't know um what the result's really going to be at WrestleMania. The first result that was going around was, of course, Shayna, but I would not be surprised, honestly, if they just let Becky hold on to the belt. And if they do, that's going to destroy Shayna and I guess just send her back to NXT. I don't know. After that, we had Charlotte Flair address Rhea Ripley once again. Well, this was all backstage, though. My bad. I forgot to say that. And says that she will continue to make history at this year's WrestleMania. Flair retired the Divas Championship and became the first women's champion. She beat Asuka and ended she beat Asuka and ended her reign of, I think it was like 914 days without a loss at WrestleMania 34, and she was in the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania 35, which we know that also involved Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Anyways, after that we had Aleister Black defeated Leon Ruff. That one was a squash match, and that was pretty funny, interesting, I guess. Aleister Black's just like, sitting down in the middle of the ring, and Leon Ruff's like, "Oh, get up," and he's like, "Ref, tell him to get up," and the ref's like, "Well, he's your opponent, not mine." And then Aleister Black just gets up and boom, hits him with the black mass, and that's pretty much all she wrote. After that, we had Seth Rollins confronted Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens came out and was talking and stuff, and Seth Rollins honestly delivered a really good promo. He came out and he was just telling Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens was talking about his appreciation for the Performance Center, and without the Performance Center he wouldn't be where he was. And Seth Rollins was basically telling him that without Seth Rollins, there would be no Performance Center, there would be no Kevin Owens, no NXT, no takeovers, and no Women's Revolution. Honestly, he did a lot to gain heat. Now, one of the big things from this Monday Night Raw was the promos were really good. Like that Shayna Baszler promo at first, and it was a little wonky in the beginning, but it felt like then she really got into it. So that's when she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be destructive, and I'm gonna destroy Becky Lynch by taking her belt, or etc." And this was a really good promo from Seth Rollins. Honestly, it really was. I think in the end, it looked like Kevin Owens was gonna cry or something. That was pretty crazy. After that, we had to finish off the night. We had Randy Orton come out and accept Edge's challenge at WrestleMania. Randy says that he basically fought for everything that he has earned in the company. He says that Edge is not a fiend for the fans, but that Adam Copeland is a fiend for Edge. And he basically says, in my first year, I became the Intercontinental Champion, and shortly after that, I became the youngest World Heavyweight Champion. And he that tells him that you're just jealous because of my career, because in no way was everything handed to me. He said, if Triple H would have gone to you and told you to join Evolution, you would have done it too in a heartbeat. And this was a really good promo. And because it was all taped, like it cut back and it showed him winning the Intercontinental Champion, and then it showed him winning the World Heavyweight, and just all these accomplishments that Randy did in his career. And he talked about grit, that this match is for grit and all this stuff. And honestly, like I said, I thought Raw was a really good show. Um, they did show the triple threat match between Lesnar, Cena, and Rollins, and I forgot which other match they showed. So yeah, they still showed like two classic matches. So I mean, it is what it is on that. But I thought it was a good show. Unfortunately, it didn't do good in the ratings. They ended up dropping from last week, so that was pretty interesting. Honestly, it was to me. So now let's go real quick into AEW Dark. That was premiered on Tuesday. Now AEW Dark was non-stop action. Now I think what AEW Dark also was, it was a lot of tryouts, I guess, for the indies. So let me just go through the results so you guys can hear these names and understand what I mean by that. So in the beginning, we had Jake Hager come out and he defeated Joe Alonzo via submission. This match didn't even last that long. That like I said, Joe Alonzo, I think he's a guy from the Indies. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, the Natural Nightmares, then defeated John Cruz and Matt Sells. This was a pretty good match. Cruz and Sells got more stuff in than Joe Alonzo did, that's for sure. And they were putting up a pretty good match, but in the end, Dustin and QT ended up taking the victory. After that, we had SEU defeated Sean Spears and Robert Anthony. Now, some people might be like, Robert Anthony, does that mean that Sean Spears already has a partner? No, because if you guys don't know, he was doing the whole search for Spears, that he's looking for a tag team partner. And towards the end, Sean Spears turned his back on Robert Anthony, telling him that he screwed up, and he just gets in the end he gets destroyed by Kaz and Christopher Daniels, and that was that. Um, Sean Spears, if you do listen to this or for whatever reason, go out and get Simon Miller. I mean, maybe that is the plan, but maybe they can't right now because Simon Miller is in the UK and the whole not letting people travel or whatever the case may be. So, anyways, after that, we had Kip Sabian defeat Shug D. That was a really good match. Shug D looked impressive. A lot of these people looked impressive, like I said, besides Joe Alonzo, which kind of sucked. But, I mean, I get it. He was a smaller dude than Jake Hager. But, anyways, going back to the Kip Sabian and Shug D, it was a really good match. Shug D got his stuff in. I thought it almost looked like Shug D was going to walk away with the victory, but in the end, Kip Sabian defeated him. After that, we had Colt Cabana defeated Brandon Cutler. Now, okay, not everybody on this match were from the indie scenes, right? We all know Colt Cabana, that he has signed with AEW, and Brandon Cutler just loses and knows how. That's the only thing he knows how to do, unfortunately, on AEW, which really sucks. I mean, maybe it'll make his first win that much bigger, but anyways, we'll see. And then after that, in the main event of AEW Dark, we had Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss defeated Corey Hollis and Mike Reed. That was a really another good match. um, that was a really good match. They let Corey and Mike did get their stuff in, and they showed some promising potential. But in the end, Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss picked up the victory. So now let's jump into
AEW Dynamite.
So in AEW Dynamite, it was a really, really good show. We started off with, so first of all, Tony Schiavone was the only commentator there, and then he was joined by Kenny Omega, he was joined by Kenny Omega for the first match because Cody Rhodes was in the first match where he defeated Jimmy Havoc, and this was a really good match. I think it was awesome to see Cody Rhodes put Jimmy Havoc on this match to kind of show, because Jimmy Havoc's been a lot on AEW Dark, and they were talking about, oh, this isn't really Jimmy Havoc's style. He's more of the death match kind of guy. But Cody put on a really good match with them and showed his wrestling side that maybe not that many people know of, because a lot of people might only know him for the death match side, putting on these extreme matches. And believe it or not, when I've been doing a lot of research lately, is a lot of those guys from the death matches, they really know how to wrestle. But the only reason they do those matches is because depending on where they are, and money pays, and if people want to see that, then that's what people want to see. After that, Jake the Snake Robert comes up on the Tron with a message for Cody. He says Lance Archer is. It says He says that Lance Archer is champing at the bit, but just to get that he's basically Lance Archer is kind of fiending for the opportunity to get in the ring from somebody with AEW. He talks about AEW giving the people what they want, but his phone didn't ring when AEW was getting when they were creating AEW. And Jake the Snake goes on saying that he's one of the best minds in pro wrestling, and he just doesn't understand why they didn't call him. They didn't bring in it says, and then he tells him, he's like, he tells them that they didn't bring in Lance Archer into AEW right away because that they're afraid, and they're right to be, that because Jake the Snake Robber is still paying off medical bills from Archer's last training session. He tells Cody to bring whoever he likes, and that he needs to be sat down with something to sign for one meeting between Cody Rhodes and Lance Archer. He says that's all he wants is one time to get this done, and he says it's up to Cody. He says it's up to Cody, and he finishes off, of course, with saying trust me. So this was a really good like 2-3 minute promo, and they played this right after Cody's match. And Cody was after saying, "Oh, he needs to work his way up," or whatever the case is. So maybe I guess they're gonna put Lance Archer through a bunch of matches before he gets that match with Cody, which makes sense, but doesn't make sense because it's not like Cody's the champion. But I don't know, that I just thought it was a really good promo from Jake Roberts once again. After that, we had Darby Allin defeated Kip Sabian. This was a really good match. It didn't end with the coffin drop. It ended up with, I guess the move was called the Last Supper, which is he kind of grabs a leg and then rolls him over, um, which I totally understand. I think Darby Allin is smartening up and is realizing that, hey, you can't always do that coffin drop, which is pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool for him to. I don't know if that's gonna be his other move. It's kind of like a roll up pin, I guess, in a way, but we'll see what else he can come up with. Because look, the coffin drop is a good move to hit at certain points, but don't hit it every time because that can really shorten up your career. Anyways, like I said, yeah, that Darby Allin and Kip Sabian was a really, really good match. After that, we had Jake Hager defeated Chico Adams via ref stoppage from a triangle choke. So I think all of Jake's matches have ended with ref stoppage, submission, or whatever, which I guess they're still going off of that. Hey, he's a big dude that can make you tap because he was in the MMA, which is pretty cool. That's pretty fun, unique than what they did with Brock Lesnar when he returned from the UFC or whatever. And then after that, John Moxley came out after, and him and Hager started trading some shots at each other. Moxley then hit him with the paradigm shift, which Hager's sold for a bit, but then out of nowhere, he grabbed his ankle and flipped him over and put him in the ankle lock. Moxley fought it off a bit, and then he rolled and pushed Hager through the ropes, and then Hager was just out of there. So it looks like they're really going to push this Moxley and Hager match for the title. I don't know when they would do it. Moxley will retain, but it's pretty cool that they're trying to put Hager in this top spot. I think a really cool match would be to put these guys in maybe like an Iron Man match submission only, like to see who can pick up the most submissions. I think that would be a great way for Moxley to beat him. But then again, I don't think they will because I think maybe that would damage Jake just a bit. But yeah, we'll see what AEW does with that. And then AEW was cutting AEW. Moxley was cutting a promo backstage saying that he's 100% clear and that he's out for Hager's blood, saying that Hager, when they get in the ring, Hager will leave in a stretcher or Moxley will die trying. Another pretty good promo. I mean, it was good seeing Moxley come back after 2 weeks. I was kind of bummed out that I didn't see him when they came to here at the Maverick Center in Utah, which was before all this stuff happened. So it's crazy that there are 2 episodes. 3 episodes ago they were here in Utah with between 4 to 6 thousand fans, and now they've already done 2 episodes in a row in empty arenas. So after that, um, they did they played a small vignette of Brody Lee, and he's basically taking shots at Vince McMahon. It starts off with he's in a room with Reynolds and Silvers, and he's on a table and he's eating a big juicy steak, and one of the guys attempts to eat, and he's like, "What are you doing? You can't be eating before me." And he kicks him out. He tells the other guy, "Hey, you gotta watch your boy, control your boy, and this and that." And then after that, the other guy sneezes, and then that's when he loses and he kicks him out. So yeah, this is taking shots at Vince McMahon. I mean, hopefully this isn't a weekly thing, or I mean, I don't know, dude. It's just interesting to see what now they're doing with the Dark Order. Um, But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's some stuff that you've heard about that basically Brody Lee came out and confirmed, saying that in the video showing that, hey, that's the rumor that's going around, that nobody is allowed to eat until Vince McMahon is done. And of course, we all, if you don't know, but yeah, he doesn't like it when people sneeze around him. Which, I mean, I guess with the virus going around, he was a smart dude. Anyways, so after that, we had Brody Lee was in a squash match against QT Marshall. Now, I know I talked about QT Marshall, but that was AEW Dark, and now this is AEW Dynamite. Yeah, he hit him. He beat him in a pretty fast fashion, like 3 minutes. So that was a pretty cool showing. I mean, they're showing, they're putting in Brody Lee as this, real threat that can just go through anybody. After that, we had Kenny Omega defeated Sammy Guevara to retain the AAA Mega Campeonato. And I think this was a really good match. Started off a bit slow, but the ending, wow, what a crazy last 5 minutes in that match. Um, Funny, after this, yeah, just last night I was watching Omega versus Okada at the G1 climax, and it had kind of some of that ending of that match in here. Sammy would hit him, and then Omega, and then there was a little bit no selling, but it was a really good way to finish. Honestly, it was, a really good match by Omega, putting Sammy over. Yes, he didn't put him completely over by letting Sammy walk away with the victory, but he did put him over in the match. And wow, what a great showing again from Sammy Guevara. And then after that, we had basically the main event segment. Chris Jericho was out, and he was cutting a promo on Vanguard 1, telling him to join the inner circle and that his life would be better in the inner circle. And then after that, it was just hilarious. And then after that, we had Chris Jericho and Broken Matt Hardy in the ring. The way that Matt Hardy got there was he teleported, and some people didn't like it because, I mean, it's all pre-taped. But I just thought it was funny. It was awesome. It was entertaining. They didn't have microphones on them. It was just like the camera was there, and these guys were talking super loud, so the camera can pick it up. And it's cool because it kind of just looked like the camera guy was just like accidentally there, and these guys were just confronting each other. And Jericho was telling Matt Hardy, he was telling him, he's like, I know you, I've known you for so long. You shouldn't be with the elite. You should be with me in the inner circle. And it was if you guys haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. The little segment is on there. It's like a 6-7 minute. Uh, it's a 6-7 minute video, and overall it was a good show, and it was a good way to finish it. Yes, it is. It was a wonky promo in between these guys in the end, but it was fun, it was entertaining, and I mean, what else can you ask for in times like this? So now let's get into
Wednesday night NXT.
so NXT started off with Tyler Breeze defeating Austin Theory. This was a really good match. I thought Austin Theory was gonna pick up the win, but in the end, the veteran Tyler Breeze ended up picking up that victory. After that, we had Killian Dane defeated Tehuti Tehuti Miles. Sorry for botching that name, but yeah, Dane defeated Miles. That was another really good match. Um, yeah, from what I saw in it, yeah, it was a good match. Miles got some stuff in, and they just put on a really good match. After that, we had Cameron Grimes defeated Tony Nese, and then we had Io Shirai defeated Alaya to earn a spot in the number one contenders match. In the number one contenders match, which will be a ladder match to determine who the number one contender will be the um for the NXT Women's Champion after WrestleMania. I think this match is happening in 2 weeks. The ladder match. Um, NXT, like the NXT Takeover matches, they had a plan, will now be taking part of, and it will be part of their weekly programming. And then after that, we had Keith Lee came out to apologize to Dominic Dijakovic because of what happened last time, and Dominic basically came out and told him, "Hey, don't apologize or whatever, because the only thing that I want is that North American title." Then Damian Priest came out and says that he wants the title as well. Um, Priest he was gonna slide into the ring. Dominic pushes Keith Lee out of the way, and Dominic starts attacking Damian Priest. They chase some shots. Then Keith Lee pushes Dominic off, and then him and Priest go at it. They're fighting. Boom, they roll out to the outside, and they're brawling outside. And then Dominic basically hit like some kind of swanton onto both of them and knocked them out, and he walked away while Damian and Keith were on the floor. And basically, after that, it was announced that these guys would be in a triple threat next week. I think that's going to be the main event for next week. They're going to be in a triple threat for the North American title. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, they are doing completely different than the United States and the Intercontinental, because you have, yes, is it the same guys that we've seen Keith Lee go up against? Yes, but these guys really want that North American title. They're not just fighting Keith Lee to fight him. They're fighting him because he has that piece of gold, that title. And it's cool because it's making that title mean something. Like I said, yes, is it the same guys, but it's making that title mean something. I was thinking yesterday, I mean, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea if they hot potato that, let's say Dominic wins it for 3 months, and then they do another triple threat, and then Priest wins it, and then they do another one, and Keith Lee regains it. It'd be pretty cool for them to hot potato that belt around a bit, because it would show that, hey, this belt really means a lot to them. And honestly, that belt is getting more, they're putting more value into that belt than the NXT champion. Anyways, after that, we had Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch defeated Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink. It was a good match. They went at it for a good amount of time. In the end, it was Lorcan and Burch had Thorne and Vink. They had them each in a submission in the middle of the ring, and they both ended up tapping, so they beat them via submission. After that, we had a really good match between Candice LeRae and Caden Carter, and Candice LeRae did qualify for that #1 contenders ladder match. And honestly, I thought this was going to be not a squash match, but Caden Carter did show some potential in this match, which was, like I said, really interesting compared to what I thought we were gonna see. She ended up beating her with, I think that that should have wrote the name, but she ended up beating her with that submission from that Johnny Gargano does. So yeah, she beat her via submission or whatever. So that was a pretty good match. After that, we had Matt Riddle defeated Roderick Strong. That was another really good match. One thing about these matches though is they were short in a way. A lot of these matches were shorter than what we expected. Thought some of these matches would be a little bit longer, but it's understandable. They're doing what the best that they can. Let me see. After that, we had these two giant dudes come out and attacked Matt Riddle. I guess they're with Malcolm Bivens, and basically was just telling them that these two guys are the future of the tag team, and what better way to attack the tag team champions than while one of them is away in the other side of the world, because we all know Pete Dunne is out in England, I believe. He's out in the UK. So, I mean, the attack that they did on Matt Riddle honestly was not the best. I felt like it could have been better. When they tried to Irish whip Matt Riddle into one of the turnbuckles, didn't really look the best. These guys still need work. I mean, and for Malcolm Bivens come out and say that these are my guys and they're the future of the NXT tag team division, maybe I should have waited just a little bit to make sure that these guys can do an Irish whip. But whatever, we'll see where this goes. And then after that, we had Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano came out. Tommaso Ciampa and Triple H were in the ring. Gargano didn't want to get in the ring. And Triple H was like, yo, you better get in this ring, and etc. And basically, Triple H was telling them that they need to finish their rivalry. Gargano says that he just wants Ciampa, a ring, and a ref so they can end it. Triple H says that he will give them exactly what they want, and he'll find an empty building, which is weird. You're in the Performance Center. It is an empty building, but I guess Triple H doesn't want to put the insurance claim on this. Anyways, he says that he will find them an empty building, a ring, and a ref. But it was funny because during that they had Triple H was like, well, why don't you guys just do it now? Johnny Gargano's like, I can't do it now. Did you not see what he did to me 2 weeks ago? put me through a table from up top and all this stuff. He's like, well, how long do Triple H is like, well, how long do you need? And he's like, 2 weeks. So that's going to be the main event in 2 weeks. We're going to see Ciampa versus Gargano, and I guess in a death match or whatever. I don't know. But in the end, it ended with a straight up Killer Cross promo. And the reason I say Killer Cross promo, because I don't know if you guys seen this before on NXT, but it actually showed his face. So I don't know if he's going to interrupt and destroy both Ciampa and Gargano, or he's going to destroy whoever wins the match, or somehow, some way he's going to get involved in the storyline, which doesn't make any sense because I don't know if he really has any history with Ciampa or Gargano, or unless he's going after Triple H. But then again, Triple H says that he will not be at WrestleMania 36. And yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe it's set for after. Now let's get into
Friday Night SmackDown.
So on Friday Night SmackDown, they kicked off the show with Bayley and Sasha Banks. Basically, they came out to the middle of the ring, and they were talking about how they think that it's unfair that Paige put them in a fatal 5-way match against Bayley, against Sasha, against Tamina, against Naomi, against Lacey Evans. So it was funny. There was a funny moment where Bayley was like, oh, but she thinks that Paige thinks that she's got me beat, but she doesn't know that my best friend's in this match. She put you in this match, and I know for a fact you're going to help me win. And it was funny, right when Sasha Banks was going to answer, we had Lacey Evans come out and just telling them, oh, you guys are nasty. I'm going to show you guys a lesson and this and that. And then Naomi came out and was, they were all exchanging words over each other. And then it was interesting when Tamina came out, because Tamina just came out and said, hey, actions speak louder than words. She headbutted Naomi and then super kicked Lacey Evans. And after that, Bayley and Sasha jumped on Naomi to start to attack her. And basically Tamina walked up right behind them, and they just ran out of the ring. They just didn't want nothing to do with Tamina, which was interesting that they kind of put Tamina as this badass in a way. I didn't think that they would do that for her return, but I mean, that was pretty interesting. So that's going to be the match for WrestleMania. After that, we had Drew Gulak defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, defeated him with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, in all of pro wrestling, a roll-up. And Drew Gulak defeating Shinsuke Nakamura means that Daniel Bryan has earned his title shot at WrestleMania. After that, we had Elias walked out on that on the Performance Center, that one little stage up top or whatever, was basically singing and making fun of King Corbin. And then Corbin had enough, came out, attacked them, freaking dropped them from the top of that stage. And yeah, it was looked like King Corbin wanted to straight up kill Elias. In the end, the medical staff was there and they were examining Elias, and that was a pretty crazy moment, honestly, to see. I mean, yes, we saw that from Gargano and Ciampa, but they both went together, and over here, Elias went by himself. It was funny. There was people posting it with, well, not funny, but people were posting all over Twitter and stuff they were saying that it was similar to, the way that Corbin dropped them was similar to the whole Mufasa and Scar scene in The Lion King. I thought that was hilarious. Anyways, after that, we had Alexa Bliss defeated Asuka. Man. Now, my thing about Alexa Bliss defeating Asuka is, I don't know what they're doing with Asuka anymore. Yes, she is the tag team champion, and yes, they have the longest reign with those belts. But honestly, I just don't know what they're really going with. Asuka really shouldn't be a heel. It's impossible to be a heel. Though they did look like they were having fun during this match, which was pretty cool, but I honestly think Asuka needs to lose the tag team belts and go back to being a singles competitor, and Kairi Sane too, because this really hasn't helped either one of them. Honestly, it hasn't. I honestly believe that they should have kept Paige, that Paige should have been Asuka's mouthpiece, but whatever, man. I just don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Asuka. After that, I don't know if it was after or before that. Anyways, Otis was confronting Dolph, and Dolph, I wrote Otis, but it was Dolph that actually challenged him, saying that, oh, I want to embarrass you at WrestleMania in front of where everybody can see and this and that, and Otis accepts. Now, look, I'm going to go on a quick little rant right here. this is totally cool, but let Otis destroy Dolph Ziggler. If Dolph wins, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to be pissed, and it's not going to be fun because this is ridiculous, dude. You're trying to build up Otis. Yes, Otis is a big baby face, but let him for once destroy Dolph Ziggler. Like, honestly, just let him destroy him. Don't. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what the storyline's really doing for Otis anymore. You know, he should have ended up with Mandy Rose, but now apparently Mandy Rose is a bigger heel than Dolph, in my opinion, because she straight up crushed Otis's heart. She broke his heart. That's mean. Not nice. Anyways, after that, we had a new episode of the Firefly Funhouse, and Rambling Rabbit died after Bray Wyatt put him in the blender. So, rest in peace, Rambling Rabbit, once again. And it basically ended with Bray Wyatt challenging John Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania. That's going to be pretty cool. That's going to be pretty fun to see. Of course, John Cena will be out next week to address that and whether he accepts or doesn't accept, which most likely he will accept. And it's going to be pretty fun to see what they're going to do with this Firefly Funhouse match. After that, we had the Usos defeated the New Day. Well, not defeated, my bad. The Usos and the New Day were having a match to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And in the end, Morrison and Miz got involved. It ended in a no contest. And Michael Cole announced that at WrestleMania, the New Day versus the Usos versus Miz and Morrison in a triple threat tag team match. Triple threat tag team ladder match. So these guys are going to do their own TLC match. Or not TLC, ladder match. Should have been TLC, Michael Cole. Anyways, but yeah, kind of knew that this was going to happen. I didn't think that they were just going to put one of them, but I'll wait until we get into the wrestling news or rumors and let you guys know more about all this stuff that's going on. But anyways, yeah, it was pretty interesting to see that in the end when they announced that Usos super kicked Miz or Morrison. I don't know. They super kicked one of them, and then the other one got destroyed by the New Day. And that was it. That was pretty much Friday Night SmackDown. So now let's get into...
Here are your wrestling news and rumors.
So, in the wrestling news and rumors, and wow, what a week for pro wrestling news. Got a lot to talk about. So, like I said, I think it was Wednesday and Thursday was when WrestleMania 36 was rumored that it was already taped. According to Dave Meltzer, also, the WWE is pretty negative about the idea of CM Punk wrestling for them again. Vince McMahon was saying that CM Punk is one of the persons that he just can't do business with. Blood and Guts was postponed. AEW, of course, rescheduled Blood and Guts. They said that, that they want to do it with the live crowd and this and that. AEW also rescheduled the following shows in the following cities of Philadelphia, Houston, New Orleans, and Albuquerque. Then we had Aleister Black was announced versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, which is weird. It's a match with no build. But I will get into that here in a bit. After that, we also had the announcement of the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Champions, which... it's a little weird because of something that I'm going to talk about again here in a bit. I know it's crazy that the way that I set up my wrestling news and rumors is, because I start off right away on Monday and go throughout the whole week. So you'll see how the week changes. And so this is where there was a rumor going around early last week saying that this was the rumor between Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. At first was going to be a House of Horrors match, but now it's a Firefly Funhouse match, which just could be a new name for the House of Horrors match. So yeah, that's going to be pretty fun and interesting to see. Apparently, I guess also this week, AEW was going to do more tapings for future episodes. I didn't see anywhere how many episodes they were planning on recording, because the city of Orlando, or the county of Orlando, where the performance center is basically shut down until I think April 9th or something. And apparently, Monday night they've recorded enough Raws for the Raw after WrestleMania. After that, according to Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, Dana Brooke has been removed from the Six Pack Challenge due to the fact that she is in quarantine and cannot travel. So that's why the SmackDown Women's title match went from a six pack challenge to a fatal five-way elimination match. After that, Rey Mysterio is also being reported to not be at WrestleMania due to being in quarantine and not being able to travel. The original plans they had were, I guess, him in a match against Andrade for the United States Championship. Now, um, it's not confirmed. They haven't confirmed if Dana Brooke or Rey Mysterio are just in quarantine or if they have the virus, but hopefully they don't and they can just be back whenever they can be. WrestleVotes tweeted out this week saying that they talked with the source. This is what the tweet said. Said talked with the source who said, "Don't be surprised to see a women's match, Becky versus Baszler, as the main event on Saturday night's portion of WrestleMania. Lineup is being worked on now. Upwards of 16 total matches, likely 8 per show." Now, 16 matches, that's a lot. I mean, it's cool they're doing it over 2 nights. The rumor is that both nights will combine up to 8 hours. Drinking some more water right there. But man, I just don't know if I want to see Shayna and Becky in a main event unless they could put on a really banger of a match. Then cool, that'd be awesome. But just don't feel that way. Honestly, I don't. Also, the WWE Network is not available in Saudi Arabia until further notice, which is a little bit weird. Maybe there's still some heat friction going on between these guys. I don't know. I just promote, I just endorse the news. I don't have, I just give up, I just give as much information as I can. And like I said, NXT TakeOver matches will now start to take place on Wednesday nights, starting on April 1st, which is next week. The WrestleMania 30 was shown on ESPN last weekend, and they got 139,000 viewers on ESPN. That's pretty good, honestly. It really is. Raw Raw's rating was 2.01 million, which is the second lowest since December 2019. And like I said, it was a really good show, and it really surprised me that they just hit their second lowest since December of last year. We also had this week we had both part 1 and part 2 of Dark Side of the Ring. They released both episodes on Vice TV. I have a review for that. I did my first ever review, and the review for that will be in the links down below. So click that link, help my channel grow, and check out that Dark Side of the Ring. It was really interesting. I honestly learned a lot. I guess I learned a lot than most people did because I'm only 23 years old, and that thing happened 13 years ago when I was like 10. So I learned a lot from that. After that, Samoa Joe. In the news this week, Samoa Joe's wellness suspension has officially ended on March 25th. Nothing has come out to say that he was in a WrestleMania match or will be part of a WrestleMania match, so we'll see how that goes for him. Also, Impact Wrestling has postponed Rebellion and Lockdown, and they postponed their future tapings until further notice, though Tommy Dreamer was on the Busted Open radio saying that they still have like 4 to 5 more recorded episodes that they will air, so they are covered for the next 4 or 5 weeks. One thing that was interesting was Arn Anderson claimed, I don't know if this is old news or new news, anyways, this thing just popped up to me, was Arn Anderson claims that Vince McMahon instructed WWE commentators to bury Sting for one last nail into the WCW coffin, and I guess this all had to do with the whole WrestleMania thing that happened at WrestleMania 31. It says WWE Hall of Famer Arn Anderson recently discussed on the match discussed the match on the RN podcast that he said that Vince wanted to nail one last nail into the coffin when it came to letting fans know that WWE beat WCW in the Monday Night Wars after they got their butts kicked for 83 weeks. Anderson also went into commentary and noted that the announcers were fed specific lines by Vince McMahon, saying that all it did was give the announcers and I this oh all it did was give the announcers and I know this was fed to them. They just buried Sting saying minnow in a big pond, just totally condescending guys out of his element. This is WrestleMania now. You're a small minnow in a huge lake. Yeah, so I haven't seen WrestleMania 31. That is on my to do list. But yeah, it sucked that Sting lost to Triple H though when I found out. But apparently Vince McMahon still lives in the freaking in 2000 in the 90s trying to bury WCW that's been dead since 2001. I don't know, Vince. I don't know. AEW pulled a rating of 819,000 viewers, which is down from last week, and NXT went up to 669,000 viewers. The WWE were not happy with Brody Lee's vignette, according to Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer said, "This is Vince McMahon. It's 100% Vince McMahon. It's Vince McMahon eating at Morton's Steakhouse, getting mad because he's got to eat first, getting mad at people sneezing." Yeah, there's a lot of people. Some people are very upset about this. And believe it or not, I thought it was kind of funny. And yes, I agree with you, Dave Meltzer. It was hilarious, but apparently there's some people at WWE that aren't happy with this. I'm guessing Vince McMahon, or I don't know who else wouldn't be happy with this besides him. NXT TakeOver Dublin has been postponed until October. The WWE pay-per-view deal that they were trying to get with ESPN or ESPN Plus is officially dead. According to Dave Meltzer, he said their belief is the deal is dead. Alan Glaude said that the transformative deal that they were looking to sell does not look like it's going to happen. The word that I had is that they were far apart on money, but not that it was dead by any means. Him saying that and enough that it downgrades the stock and that WWE not coming out and disagreeing, that's saying something. So there was something that was going on Yahoo Finance, basically telling people to sell their stock of the WWE, that it's just not looking good. And I think honestly, not just because of that, but because of everything that's going on in the world, you don't want to do a deal where you're gonna have people have to pay a lot of money. Let me check right now the WWE stock. Their WWE stock is at $33.80, and this closed on March 27th, and it is March 28th. So yeah, so closing yesterday, they finished off at 33.80. They are down $1.15, which is 3.29%. So that sucks. Anyways, back to the news. Roman Reigns, I already talked about it. Roman Reigns pulls out of WrestleMania. Now, see, this is where it gets interesting, where the news that was coming out. Look, I don't know if this is spoilers. I hope not, because I'm not giving you guys any results of matches. But check this out. I don't know if it's a straight up spoiler, but we will see what's really going to happen. So, Bobby Lashley reportedly is in quarantine and will not be part of WrestleMania. He was out for 2 weeks doing a tour in South Africa, South Africa, and basically came back and had to be in quarantine, though it's not reported that he has the virus or the illness. After that, according to Fightful.com, Asuka, Murphy, and Cesaro will not be in the WrestleMania 36 tapings, which is weird, right? Because we just saw on Friday Night SmackDown, Asuka basically lost, which gives Bliss and Cross the number one contenders match at WrestleMania. Anyways, like I already talked about, The Miz was sick during the tapings and saying that he will not be part of WrestleMania 36. I wonder if they're going to make them vacate the titles, and then we'll just have Usos and the New Day in a ladder match to determine the new champions. And Andrade was not medically cleared for WrestleMania 36 due to suffering a rib injury on Monday Night Raw and has been replaced by NXT superstar Austin Theory. Hopefully, you guys aren't mad at me. Like I said, there's not spoilers. It's just a lot of matches are getting changed. A lot of stuff is really going on here at the moment. Um, like I said, it's just another way that maybe the world is trying to get at Vince McMahon and trying to make him postpone, but he's not postponing. Anyways, so yeah, one of the biggest talking points, like I said, about the whole Roman Reigns thing was it's amazing how WWE, to me, it was amazing, sarcastically, how WWE showed WrestleMania 32 of Triple H versus Roman Reigns to hype up Goldberg versus Roman Reigns after the news broke out that Roman Reigns will not be part of WrestleMania 36. And the reason I say this is they ran through the show normally. I get it. These things have been taped. But if they already knew in the tapings that Roman Reigns was pulling out, why are you waiting until next week to adjust everything and put in his replacement? Now, the rumor, spoiler alert or whatever, the rumor is it's Braun Strowman, according to Dave Meltzer. That's what he heard. We'll have to see next week. Hopefully next week they just go out of the way and confirm everything. Confirm about The Miz. You know, they need to address and confirm about The Miz, about Bobby Lashley, about Andrade, about Asuka, Cesaro, Murphy. They really got to confirm about these guys because it's not cool that this stuff's getting confirmed online from really trustworthy sources, and you guys aren't doing anything about it. One of the things that I want to talk about real quick is during the Gargano and Ciampa thing, Triple H was basically telling them, "Hey, if you guys after this thing ends, if you guys keep going at it, you guys are going to be fired. You guys will be removed from NXT." Because literally the whole Gargano and Ciampa thing is one of them wants to be the face of NXT, and Triple H basically told them, "Hey, no one is bigger than the brand," which this showed to me that there's never going to be anybody that's bigger than the brand, bigger than the company, which means that there will never be another Hulk Hogan, there will never be another Stone Cold, another The Rock, another who else did I write? You know, even maybe another Cena, because they don't want anybody to be bigger than the company. Which is, you know, like I said, there's never going to be another mega superstar, which is weird for Triple H to put it out like that. But that is the company mentality, and that's what they're going off with. Now, we are coming up to 56 minutes. Let me see what else. Oh, so it was interesting to me that this week they showed up some matches. They showed up some stuff that didn't make sense. Some old matches, like they showed WrestleMania 34. Oh, that was other matches they showed on Monday Night Raw, WrestleMania 34. Look, if you're doing things pre-taped, how about you guys do video packages and interviews to build up these matches and not like, why'd you show the Brock Lesnar versus Cena versus Rollins match? That has nothing to do with Drew McIntyre. Why'd you show the Charlotte Flair versus Asuka match? That has nothing to do with Rhea Ripley. Like, why not? If you guys were pre-taping everything, why not build up these packages to build up these? Why not build these WrestleMania 36 packages to build up these matches? I get it. You guys are trying to find a way to kill time, but maybe do a video package before that can lead into the classic match that you are showing. I don't know. WWE always finds a way to shock me. So to finish off, I wanna. I'm on my phone right now. I'm going on. Apparently, according to CBS Sports, this. Let me see. When was it last updated? From 11 hours ago. I'm gonna go through the WrestleMania 36 matches. nothing has been changed from all the wrestling, from all the stuff that I told you. So this is what's on CBS Sports still. Excuse me. Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Goldberg versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Edge versus Randy Orton, last man standing. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse match. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Tamina versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a boneyard match. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, real quick to touch on that, I didn't write it on my notes, but I should have. There was something going around that even Daniel Bryan was not going to take part of the WrestleMania 36 tapings, which I think he might get replaced then by Drew Gulak in this match, but we'll see this coming week. And then we have the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Miz and John Morrison versus New Day versus the Usos in a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley, and Elias versus King Corbin, and Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. So that is the whole WrestleMania 36 cards with nothing being adjusted. I really am hoping and looking forward to next week that maybe WWE starts doing these WrestleMania 36 matches. Let me see, how many matches did I just read off? Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15. So apparently there's still one match that needs to be added to do 8 on Saturday and 8 on Sunday. We will see how that goes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the WrestleMania 36 card, and that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about today for this episode. Shout out to David Denton. He is the one that did the introduction you guys heard in the beginning of the podcast. So shout out to him. You can check his stuff out at turnbuckletrash.net. I made an appearance on his show that I think should be dropping any day now. Went on there and talked to him and talked to Chris Evans about, one of his co-hosts, about, we're talking about WrestleMania, we're talking about empty arenas, etc. So that's going to be pretty fun. I'll be promoting that as soon as it's out. And also shout out to the Dave and Jay's Powerbomb, the AEW talk show. Shout out to them. Keep doing your thing, guys. Thank you guys for the support. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification, I guess, in a way, if that also works. I don't know if it works for me since I'm not there yet. Anyways, also I want to finish up with a quick giving you guys some more information. I will be purchasing my a domain name this week. Don't know what it's going to be yet, but so it's easier for you guys to find my YouTube. It's basically just going to redirect you to my YouTube. So it's going to be, I'm going to get a domain name so I can promote that everywhere, just so people can check out my podcast. I am going to be trying to find a way to put this. I want to put this on Spotify and stuff, but a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing, it costs money. Maybe I will just only put podcasts on there and not, maybe I'll just put my podcast on there instead of, because I am going to be doing a lot of videos. I do plan on having, I did the Chris Benoit Dark Side of the Ring review. They are coming out with a new Jack one. I will be doing that. I don't know if it's going to release the day after they release the Dark Side of the Ring, but I am gonna make sure that I hit each and every single one of season 2 episodes for the Dark Side of the Ring, and then I will go back and do season 1. And also, I'm going to be looking for more documentaries and stuff. I did already see the rise and fall of ECW and of WCW, and the documentary of the AWA, that they have on the WWE Network. So I think I'm gonna go out and do reviews for them as well. I'm gonna also be coming out with some classic reviews. Uh, the WWE Network has so much stuff that I can go on there and review. Now, the whole point is to do all this now while I'm building my channel. Because, like I said, eventually, once this podcast become exclusive to First Pin fans, the YouTube channel, I'm still gonna push the YouTube channel, but the YouTube channel will have classic reviews. It will have documentary wrestling, not WWE, pro wrestling reviews, pro wrestling documentary reviews. I'm going to be hopefully doing some stuff with my WWE 2K19. I'll talk about that possibly on the next episode. Um, I am also going to be working on some top 10 videos and just a bunch of other stuff just to build the content and try to have build the content, build the fan base. But the main thing for me is always going to be this podcast. I'm never going to stop doing this weekly podcast because eventually we're going to get into it being on the daily basis, around 2 to 3 hours. But that's years down the line, and it kind of sucks when you have this passion and this desire to get to where you want to be, but I do got to trust the process. I actually feel like this was one of the best episodes that I've done. Last night I did the count and I was already at 106 views with all of my videos combined, which is I'm super grateful for you guys for clicking on that. I can't wait till I have a video going over 100. I can't wait till I have when I go from 4 subscribers to 10 to 100 to 1,000 to just grow. Like that's the whole point. It's hard when there's a lot of competition out there, but I know I am slowly molding myself into being myself. But yeah, that's the goal, is to get there eventually. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me jump on my Twitter real quick, see if there's any see if there's any breaking news that I need to cover for you guys on this Saturday morning. I am up super early than I usually am to record this episode. Let me see. Oh, that's funny. um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Honestly, of all the news, nothing really happened overnight, which was pretty crazy because a lot of stuff has been going on through the whole Monday through Friday, but nothing really big happened from this Saturday morning, night, or whatever it's called, from Friday turning into Saturday. So that's pretty much it. This was the First Pin podcast. I want to thank you guys. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down, let me know what you think. This to me was honestly the best episode I think I've done so far since I woke up early and just really was in my zone. So I also got an episode coming this week, which is the top 10 future AEW World Champions. And then the following week, I will do the top 10 future AEW Women's Champions. So I'm going to be releasing those. I'm going to be releasing one this coming week. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll be releasing another one the following week, along with the Dark Side of the Ring New Jack review and whichever other Dark Side of the Ring episode is the following week. Now, I don't know what's going to happen real quick. I just want to let you guys know. I don't know what's going to happen with the WWE and AEW. I don't know if they're just going to do whatever they have tape and then they're going to take some time off. If that's the case, I don't know what the case will be. But if that's the case, the podcast will shorten up and just be part of the wrestling news and rumors until things go back to normal. And if that's the case, then I'll probably have to start my classic reviews earlier than expected. I don't really want to start on those now because I do have a lot of stuff going on. And like I said, I am a husband, I am a father, and my family needs my time. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys. And again, until next week, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Do what you got to do. Self-quarantine. And let's just get through this. And, can't wait to get to the other side of this. So thank you guys for listening. This has been your humble and gracious host, Kevin Solorsino. And I am out of here. And I'll see you guys next week.